don't mind paying higher taxes if it helps other people. Then just donate your money. Nobody is stopping you from donating your own money to all these causes that you claim to care about. I'm not a bad person for wanting to keep more of the money that I earn. I personally do not want to be forced through taxation to pay for people who are completely able-bodied and have zero intention of ever figuring out how to support themselves.
This is the most common argument against progressive fiscal policies because people like Evan and his followers believe that pulling in $100,000 means that progressive policies are going to go after them. A lot of Americans believe that since they are just getting by and are working and that they are putting in a little bit of money into the bank, they're able to pay their bills, that they are thriving, when the reality is that they are just surviving. Especially because we're in a crisis right now where a majority of Americans in their 30s and 40s are not going to be able to retire, and we're going to rely more on Social Security once we hit our 60s and 70s, which is taxpayer funded. Last week, a highly polarized article by economist Michael Green started making the rounds where he challenges that the poverty line in the United States of America is actually $140,000 per year and not the current around $35,000 per year. The original poverty line was established in 1960, and it measured basically whether you could or could not make 3 times the amount it costs for food per month. And Michael Green challenges that this is very archaic because it doesn't include rising housing costs, rising healthcare costs, costs of living expenses, and the fact that salaries have not increased at the rate of inflation. I get it. Read that, but also read an article by economist Jeremy Horpedal where he basically breaks down Michael Green's article and says that it's a little over miscalculated. But Jeremy Horpedal also says it's overcalculated by about 30%, which means that the poverty line is around $98,000. And again, remember I said around $100K when I talk about Evan and his followers. Somebody making $100,000 a year is paying approximately $15,000 in federal income taxes. Of those federal income taxes, about 3.2% is going towards things like SNAP benefits. It's about $40 a month. But you want to know how much is being spent on defense, Social Security, and paying off our national debt? Around half of their federal income taxes. And the best part is our spending is so out of control right now, the tariffs are basically doing absolutely nothing to challenge this, even though Trump and Stephen Miller said they would. For the first time ever, interest rates on our national debt is going to be the highest amount of money that we spend on our annual budget. The best part about this counter argument is that Joe Biden had the Senate and the House in 2021 and 2022, and he did not change the tax brackets. I'm so fucking pissed at him for not doing that. And since New York City and California make up 25% of the overall GDP and contributions to federal income taxes, you will not be impacted, but we will. Meanwhile, inflation is rising, housing costs are rising, cost of living is rising, corporations are laying off people to be able to pay shareholder dividends, and you get on social media and think that your $100,000 is going to be challenged. One of the greatest hoodwinks that the GOP has done is convince millions and millions of Americans that are in the lower middle class that they are actually upper middle class. You're not. What we want is for the highest 2% to pay more taxes. My husband and I are in the exact same tax bracket as Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. That is fucking insane. We are willing to pay more, but the billionaires and millionaires are currently spending 50 times our salary to ensure that they and we do not. That's what it's about, Evan.